Well, it's 0-0 here at the break at the Etihad Stadium. I'm joined, as usual, for our halftime analysis by Andy Morrison, and our fan today is James. Hello, James. Thank you for joining us today. So, guys, a few talking points at halftime. We have dominated possession. The stats just showed 64% possession. We haven't capitalised on that, of course. Just your thoughts so far, first of all, Andy.
Credit to Watford for their discipline. Can they maintain that for 90 minutes? It's going to be a big ask. They're actually playing 4-6 when they're out of possession. You know, that's what we have to break down. That's the conundrum for the team to work out, and it's not nice for the fans, but I mean, this is what we're going to have to expect, you know, because teams aren't going to come and leave themselves exposed and get picked off. Because if they go 1-0 down, say on 60 minutes, we'll win this 4-0. But the longer it goes, then a little bit of tension comes in, and then you're always open to the counter attack. But a very, very difficult afternoon. But you know, the first goal, I think, will open the game up.
As Andy says, James, a lot of men behind the ball, just frustrating us really, and they're tracking players down like Yaya and David Silva. They're not getting a lot of time on the ball, are they?
No, and especially in the first half, Aguero barely got any touches really. He had a couple of quick snapshots, but nothing major. I mean, most of our attacking presence really has been down the left from Kolarov and Sterling again, who have been brilliant since the start of the season. And that seems to be, if we're going to get a breakthrough, that seems to be where it's going to come from, to me.
As you say, Andy, there's a bit of a familiar feel about this game. We've seen a lot of games like this at the Etihad where teams just completely close down and make it just very difficult for us.
I mean, it's parking the bus, and you know, Mourinho spoke about it, Wenger spoke about it over the years, and that's what we're going to have to put up. That's what we've got to try and work it out today. You know, whether that means changes from the bench to change the structure of the game, because it's just got dogged now. I'm glad the right back got a justified booking, because he's left the foot and he's pushed, and he's continually for the 45 minutes has kicked, and the 8 who is Barami, you know, has been ratting and kicking people and getting tight, which is credit to them if they're in your team. But the referee, I thought, let it go for too long. He's booked him with about 5 minutes ago, which might give Sterling a yard or two now to be able to face him up, because credit to them, you know, that's as hard as working and as disciplined a performance I've seen from a team here for probably 2 years at least.
And credit to them, James. I mean, they've just come up from the Championship. They haven't lost yet, and you can see why with a performance like this.
Definitely. And I mean, it's to be expected when they're coming against teams like us that have got the firepower that we've got. That they know if they come at us and play two up front and try and go for it, then there's a good chance that they'll just get battered. So you can't really blame them for setting up like that, and it's what got them out and got them into this league. And if they keep going like they've been doing since the start of the season, and just this sort of solid, resolute defence and pack in the midfield, then is probably what's going to keep them in the league.
So we've talked about the problems. So Andy, what's the solution? What do we need to do second half?
There's no space behind for us to exploit with Navas's pace. So I think I think Nasri will come on. And then he'll look to come in off the line and create little 1-2s and find pockets of space, perhaps for fullbacks to run in, try and get in behind them. You know, because as effective as Navas has been this season so far for us, in these sort of games where there is no room, unless you're playing counter-attacking football, you know, maybe he's lost himself a little bit. So I think Nasri will come on, and I think that'll give us another dimension. It'll just give them more problems with movement, and he's very similar to Silva. He finds little pockets, and it'll allow the fullbacks to go. But you know, we've got to get shots off as well. You know, there's too many times we wait, you know, where we move the ball. I just think get a shot off, a ricochet, a second, and maybe a deflection might change it up, because our best chances have come from Ferrandino actually nicking the ball off them, where they have no point of attack when they lose the ball. We're pushing on hard. Ferrandino's going and pressing the first ball. He's won it back twice and put us on the front foot. That seems to be the opportunity that will come. But you know, as the game goes on, what's important is then that we don't lose the game. You know, if we have to if we have to leave with a 0-0, then so be it. But it's going to be, it's a great task for the manager to try and break this down.
Do you agree, James? Do you think he'll make a change after the break?
I think I imagine he'll probably go for about an hour, something like that, and then I think that was exactly the same change I was thinking, is Navas off, I mean, he's been brilliant so far this season, but he's just not been able to get in there with his pace. And also Nasri, I think, is a better finisher than Navas. So if it is like there is too many little jinky passes going on, and we need someone who's just going to get in and start taking some shots, and I think Nasri is going to do that more than Navas. So in an hour or so, I'd imagine that would that change will happen.
We'll see that change. Interestingly, Watford's new manager, Flores Sanchez, he knows both Sergio Aguero and David Silva. He's managed both of them. Do you think that's played into, I mean, he's so familiar with the players, he knows what they're capable of, and he's dealing with that almost today?
We have been stifled. I think they've been a bit heavy-handed at times. I think the referees actually let a few things go. I think if he'd stamped down on it early, because they were continually leaving the foot in. And you'll probably see the highlights tonight. There was a few kicks off the ball on Sterling, which I spotted from the stand.
Okay.
Where they were just niggling, but like I said, from want of repeating myself, you know, they're so effective in what they've done. They've been so disciplined. I mean, their keeper hasn't really had a save to make. The last few games, our corners have become effective, and we just look null and void at the moment. There's just nothing coming from them. So I think a change, an early change. I would like to see it at half time. I'd like to see Nasri on now and go and have a real go at them, and because they've offered absolutely no threat. I mean, I don't even know if they've been in the attacking third once in the half. I'm surprised at them stat 63%. I thought they'd be more like 75. Because we so dominated the game. If we can get a moment of brilliance from Yaya, David Silva or Aguero, that's what we've come to expect. And as the game goes on and they begin to tire, I just hope that little pockets will open up and opportunities will come.
Yes, James, Andy said they've offered little going forward. I think Joe Hart didn't touch the ball until the 34th minute. So, I mean, that says a lot. And I mean, if we can, as Andy says, take advantage of that going forward ourselves, I mean, that's really what we need early on.
Yeah, we really, and I agree with what Andy was saying as well. I think it's one of those ones, if we get a goal, then it could be 3, 4, whatever, and we can spring on from there. It's just getting that first one in. But yeah, I mean, in the first half, I don't think I've seen Troy Deeney touch the ball. He was so pivotal for Watford last season, and I literally don't think he's had a touch. So as long as we can keep this up, hopefully as the game goes on and players get tired, I mean, maybe even at the end we could see someone like, because Patrick Roberts is in the team for the first time today. He's from what the little bit I saw of him when he was at Fulham, he's quick. He could cause some problems if you've got some leggy defenders.
I was just going to finish on that point, actually, James, that you mentioned Patrick Roberts, Kelechi also on the bench today. Do you think that we could see them, or perhaps Pablo Maffeo in defence? Could we see any of the youngsters, do you think, Andy?
I can't see Sergio being replaced at any time in the game. If it's 0-0 on 75, 80, 85, he's going to stay on because he'll be the one who'll pick a pocket eventually. It'd be great, maybe Patrick Roberts to come on and get an opportunity wide as the game goes on. But like I say, that first goal will be pivotal. The game will open up. They'll come out and then try and get something out of the game, and that'll just leave them vulnerable then. And then we'll pick them to pieces then. Very, very impressed with Watford and their discipline. Really am. Credit to them.
Well, thank you both very much, Andy and James, for that fantastic half-time analysis. We can just see now that the players are starting to filter into the tunnel for that second half. Let's hope for some goals the second half here at the Etihad Stadium.